The word coming in from Nikhil Khandelwal, MD Systematix Corporate Services, who's joining us to try and understand the picture when it comes to this. Nikhil, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I wanted to get a sense of what you think about the picture when it comes to the markets. Is there any pocket that is standing out to you?
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having us on the show. The markets definitely over the past couple of months has been in consolidation phase. And I think the shift of capital, largely the institutional capital, is happening in favor of larger businesses or businesses which provide more value at this levels of market. So from our perspective, you need to invest in pockets where there is value quite visible. The earnings momentum and earnings visibility is quite prominent. And hence, there are certain specific themes or sectors or businesses which we have been going long for ourselves and for our clients as well. Specifically, we can elaborate more, but banking, pharma and healthcare, and certain new areas of circularity as a theme, wherein we like businesses like recycling, etc. Are the prominent themes where we are seeing significant potential for investments, strong investment ideas, etc.
Absolutely, and Nikhil, we'll actually delve deeper when it comes to those pockets that you've mentioned, right? So when it comes to pharma and banking, what are you looking at specifically? Of course, we'll come to the bit that you talked about that really stands out to me in terms of recycling standing out as a theme, and we'll get to that a little later. But for now, let's also talk about bank and pharma.
Right. No, so from a banks as an overall sector, our view is that the sector is seeing significant amount of advances growth. The advances growth in the sector is close to about 11-12%. The sector has already crossed the hurdle of asset quality. So asset quality in the larger banking space is not an issue. Most of the banks are sitting with very good quality of book. So the differentiation is going to come from banks who are technologically strongly enabled, have got a good and widespread presence across corporate, large books across corporates, SMEs and retail, and an SME and retail in particular as a category for us is a standout growth category, wherein the demand for advances is in excess of 12-13%. So banks who have large franchise, well capitalized, are having very strong presence in retail and SME as a category, and at the end of the day have very good have a valuation comfort. In that parameter, banks, among the larger banks, PSUs actually has been a big theme which we have been harping on for the last 6 months or so. So within the PSU pack, we at this levels also we like Bank of Baroda is our top pick. And among the larger banks, we see Axis and ICICI Bank as our top picks. So on all the parameters of retail and SME as a category, where the advances growth is 12-15%, strong balance sheet, very strong comfort on margins, wherein these banks actually are increasing their share of fee-based income. So margin comfort is significant. And valuation is on our side. These banks are trading at price to book, which is lower than the ROAs, which are there in their balance sheet. So given these 4-5 parameters, Axis and Bank of Baroda and ICICI are our top 3 investment picks as far as larger banks are concerned. Another very interesting pocket within the banking space, which Systematix as a house has been talking and writing about quite actively over the past couple of months, is the small finance bank space. And within the small finance banks, the top 4-5 names, starting from the AU small finance banks to Capital, SFB, Ujjivan, Equitas, Jana, all 4-5 of them have actually gone through a very rough ride in terms of their book from microfinance category. That their entire microfinance pain is behind us. These banks have started to diversify beyond microfinance into secured lending in a big way. Most of the banks are actually diversifying beyond their core states. So even geographic concentration is actually getting diversified. And these banks, except for AU, which is probably at about 3 times price to book 1 year forward, most of the banks are available at 1 time or less than 1 time price to book. So the entire small finance bank as a category is actually something which for us is going to create the maximum alpha over the next year or two. So banking as a space, there are lots of interesting themes which are popping up, and of this, these are the prominent themes or categories which we are looking at quite closely.
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much for that take coming in. So there you go. That's banking that makes it to Systematix radar as well. Thank you so much for highlighting the picks as well when it comes to some of those banks. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Nikhil.